Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is Ava. Ava, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, Ava, let us know where you live and what you do.
I live in London. I've been living in London for about 11 years now. And I have a company that it's a consultancy for finance and operations, specialized in fashion brands. But I've now extended a little bit my pool to all of creative businesses.
Oh, that's awesome. So, just to understand a little bit more, who are your targeted customers, or maybe you can say who are your ideal customers?
Of course. So the customers that I really enjoy working with, and this is why I started the company, is to work with emerging designers. So small-ish designers that are starting, they have small teams, and they need a fractional help.
That's awesome. All right. So obviously, a founder may wear a lot of hats, and this is by the way, this is the beauty of a founder. So, can you tell us what are your core responsibilities in your companies? And I'm sure you must be wearing multiple hats.
Yes, of course. I do a little bit of everything. My idea is to take away the stress from them for all of the admin related activities. So usually these companies are founder-led. So the creative person is also the person that is managing the company. They're the CEO, they're the founder, they're the main designer, and they themselves have so many hats that it impairs their creativity as well. So having someone like me who takes all of these headaches from them, it's really beneficial for their creativity. So, I take care of their finances. I make sure we monitor everything on a monthly basis. I read their contracts, send my comments back, negotiate with suppliers or with customers. It's just basically taking that stress away from them.
That makes sense. So I believe you must be handling the client onboarding process as well. Again, for my understanding, how you onboard a client, what's the process, and what is the eligibility criteria to onboard a client?
I mean, because I started my company not so long ago, so it's been 3 years. I mean, every client that has come to me, I don't choose. I take them all, obviously. They're all very, very interesting. Everything has been through word of mouth, which means, all of them are sort of in the same position. So I don't have specifically a criteria to selecting clients.
Got it. So I believe in this case, you must welcome everybody, like even if it's an IT industry, even if it's an e-commerce business, everybody is welcome.
Yes, of course. As long as my skill set matches what they need, then
that makes sense. So I believe I have seen, especially in the e-commerce companies, they do have problems in terms of taxation. So do you have them in their taxation as well? Because in USA, every state has different structure of taxation, and sometimes this becomes too much complicated as well. So do you help them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I help them. My main focus is to make sure that their clients also buy. So, having the customer experience would be our first point to go through, making sure that the pricing is correct, that the customer is not hit with tariffs at the border, that they don't have any unexpected costs. And of course, as with the tariffs that you just mentioned, a lot of my brands are planning to move to the US or creating an entity there or having a little warehouse there, a little hub, so they can serve US clients seamlessly.
So now, when we are talking about the tariffs, because tariffs, I believe, were one of the biggest problem that they faced, especially for the companies who are importing something from China, because they were again heavy tariffs. What was the impact on the financial side for the companies and the taxation side? If you can guide us a little bit.
Of course. I don't have any brands at the moment that produce in China. All of my brands produce either in the UK or in Europe. So Europe was the one that was affected less. Those companies don't really have to have too much worries. But the UK companies faced, a 10% increase on tariffs, which is quite heavy. Obviously, we don't want to pass all of that into the customer. We don't want to pass all of that up to us. So it's a little bit of a risk sharing. But I think what impacted the finances the most is the fear of the US customers to buying abroad, because they don't know if they're going to be faced with more. So it needs to be very clear on the websites that the prices are inclusive of all of the charges. All of these things just to make sure that they have a smooth experience.
Got it. So nowadays, as you know, the Greenland problem is also going on, and things are not going well between Europe and the USA. So many companies are just afraid of they are in a state of uncertainty. What will happen? Because sometimes they get a threat. Okay, US is going to impose more tariffs on them, on Europe, in fact, and sometimes they get it back. So obviously, companies has to forecast what will be happening in upcoming months, in fact, because these impacts are not going in years. There's a possibility that next month a new tariff is going to start. So companies have to forecast, obviously, a lot of things in terms of financials. So what do you think? Like, what precautionary measures companies should take, especially from Europe? Or what precautionary measures they should take?
I think it's really important to engage with tax agents from the countries that you're trying to get into. Those would be the experts, right? So there are a lot of ways to put your product into the US where, the tariffs are less of a burden, like creating your company over there so you can have intercompany transactions and being able to sell from one company to the other first, and then the US company sells to the clients, for example, or engaging a merchant of record within the US. So again, they can import into the country at cost. These companies nowadays, I think, obviously, on one hand, we're living in our little bubble where we're trying to serve the UK and EU and trying to see what's going on in the US. But I think we're very quick to think on our feet and trying to find the best solutions. And, we've been hit already with so much that a new tariff wouldn't be a huge surprise. And of course, all of our forecasts and all of our other economics files also have that sensitivity analysis. What if something happens? How would our business would be affected?
That makes sense. All right. So, let's talk about a little bit about the marketing side as well, because marketing is an essential for any business, and marketing is directly associated with the sales. So, can you guide us how you are marketing your business? And are you using social media platforms? You are doing an online marketing or offline marketing, or you're using any mix and match of both?
I'm going to be really honest with you. I've never had to do any marketing. I'm not skilled at it.
Awesome.
I was very, very lucky to find a good pool of designers in the beginning of my venture as a founder. And those designers who have been with me since the beginning, they've always recommended me to other people. Those other people recommended me to other people. So I've always been at full capacity from the beginning. And I'm very grateful for that. And I've never had to do any marketing because, as I said, it's just not my skill set to engage someone to help me with that.
That makes sense. All right. So because you are not doing any marketing, so it means you are mostly working on word of mouth, right? So
Correct.
when you are working on word of mouth, I believe this is a desirable state where everybody wants to go, everybody wants to get some referrals instead of spending a lot on the marketing side. So how you reached at this point? Because obviously, yes, your circle can be good in this regard, obviously, yes. But on the other hand, what are the factors that will lead you to this state where you get more word of mouth and instead of putting a lot of efforts in the marketing?
I'm not sure I understood your question correctly. Would you mind?
This is an ideal state where you get a lot of word of mouth, right? And everybody wants to get, obviously, everybody wants to reach at this state where they want to get word of mouth. And they want to get referrals. So what is the best way to get more referrals instead of spending a lot on the marketing?
I mean, from my side, if I didn't have this pool of clients that I have at the moment, I would definitely engage in social media more than I do now. I do have my own Instagram page, but I don't post much. I don't do a lot of stories. I share stories of my clients, but I would absolutely would engage more with it. I would send tips, sort of like free tips to anyone out there so they could see how my skills could help them in the long run. Sort of like, did you know that, I would do things that I kind of do now that they're not specifically for marketing that I do them. But what I try to do is I do a lot of mentorship. I am a mentor for the British Fashion Council. I was a mentor for the Jimmy Choo University, and I've applied to a few mentorship programs. So as in my case, it wasn't a marketing activity, but if it was, it's pretty effective because those brands then when they move and they need someone like me, they would probably come to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I believe you are already sitting in a gold mine where you do have a lot of stuff for the marketing because you are doing mentorship, and I think a lot of stuff can be extracted from maybe videos or lectures, whatever you are giving. So you already have the stuff. You just have to put it on the social media, and boom, it will start.
Exactly.
All right. So, Eva, as per our analysis, till now we have interviewed more than 1,500 business owners, and we came to know that many business owners just burn out because they are facing new challenges. Every time they wake up along with a challenge. That's right, they just burn out and shut down their business. I'm sure you must have faced many challenges. Can you share one challenge with us and let us know how you were able to cope up with that challenge?
Of course, I think the biggest challenge that I have on a daily basis, and it's not that it's solved, but I feel like this is something that a lot of founders will recognize as well in themselves, is how to manage time. It's just so hard to manage time when you're a founder because you're 24 hours awake. You're just zoned in. The business is yours. Everything depends on you. There's no way you can get ill, go on a very, very long holiday, and just managing the time on a day-to-day basis is very, very challenging. And how I try to look at it so I don't feel overwhelmed or burnt out, or when you get to that state that you don't even know what to do because you have so much to do, what I always say to myself is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I just very slowly start doing my tasks, and every day this works.
That's awesome. That's a good tip, by the way. All right, awesome. So, Eva, in terms of your short-term goals, what you're going to do, like maybe in next 4 to 6 months.
I would love to delegate it a little bit more.
Hmm.
I'm the kind of person that I'm very controlling of what I do. And there are so many talented people out there that I could bring into my team and develop them and make sure that I don't have that stress of managing time that much as I have now. So it's an advice for myself that I really need to start delegating, starting to have a team, people that I trust around me.
Awesome. So now, Eva, when we're talking about a delegation, like what do you think when it is the right time to start delegating your responsibilities? Because again, as you know, I know, everybody who's watching, I think they know that a founder may wear a lot of hats, may have a lot of responsibilities, but everybody is not aware of when they should start delegating their responsibilities. So what do you think? Like, because you are saying now you want to delegate your responsibilities. So what is the best time to delegate?
It's a really hard question, actually. For me, it was a little bit of a light bulb moment because I always wanted to be small. Always wanted to control everything. I always wanted to know everything that is happening with every single one of my clients. But I had this light bulb moment when I asked for help from someone who was much more experienced than me, that I realized that me having the company doesn't mean that everyone that I engage in my company needs to be more junior than me. They can be more experienced than me. They can teach me things. So this was my light bulb moment when I said, I need to start delegating. And it doesn't need to be me training someone from scratch. I can hire someone that actually is better than me.
That's awesome. Like this is a process of realization and accepting. You cannot be everywhere, everything, and you cannot be everywhere. You have to accept it. First, you have to accept it, and because that was what the phase on me as well. I started my company in 2016. Yeah, I was doing all the things. I was the business developer. I was the software engineer. I was the HR. I was the admin. I was the financial person. So everything was in my hands, and these were a lot of responsibilities. And eventually, I came to know like someone else can do it better than me. And when I delegated the responsibilities, I came to know, yeah, now I can focus more on the things where I should. So that's awesome. Awesome. All right. So
We have a
Eva,
similar story then.
exactly. That resonates. In terms of long-term plans, what you are thinking about, like maybe where your company will be after maybe 4 or 5 years.
I haven't given it much thought as much as I wanted to. I still want to be catering for these small businesses. This is what really gives me pleasure. So I don't want to grow too much. I just want to make sure I can give them the best advice. I want them to grow and to have, for them to fulfill their dreams. As long as I'm comfortable, then for the moment, I'm not thinking huge growth plans for my company.
Yeah, you are going to give your premium service to your customers. That's awesome. All right, Eva, thank you so much. At the end, please give us the biggest piece of advice to our audience, where our audience mostly belong to the early startups. So, what would be your biggest piece of advice?
Probably I would say to not be afraid to start. I think that was the biggest fear for me. I never thought I would be capable. Not that I didn't have trust in myself, but just I couldn't see it. I couldn't visualize it. And, it was a lucky break for me, but a lot of people are so talented. They have such great ideas. So they should just go for it, really, because the worst thing that can happen is a no. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful advice. At the end, please, Eva, let our viewers know how they can reach you if someone wants to.
Of course. So my website is fashionc.co.uk and my email is eva at fashionc.
All right. Thank you, Eva. Thanks. Thank you so much for the insights and for the advice as well. And hopefully we will stay in touch. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.